Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, from wherever they wake up, weighing in at, they're not really sure, Athan Promise, Ryan Rizz, and Penn. They are the Lost Boys! And their opponents, wrestling out of the black corner, from day one of the grind, mean and angry and angsty, Ryan Mooney, Mick Skyros, and Delmi Exo. They are the Grind OGs!
If there's one thing the OGs have in common, is that they cut their teeth in front of a pro wrestling grind audience back in East Hampton, Massachusetts, back in our previous chapter of Pro Wrestling Grind. All three. They've had to step up to adversity in the worst way. Ask Mick Skyros about being a former Grind Grand Champion. Ask Ryan Mooney about his outing with Gary J.
Still wearing the battle scars mentally, at least from that one.
And Delmi Exo, you ask Janai Kai, you ask Johnny Robbie.
Oh yeah.
A multitude of combatants. And Delmi Exo, she's feeling all the more ready to start this off, which she's doing now against the Lost Boys.
Delmi Exo recently returned from a brief stint with Kyushu Pro over in Japan, sharpening those skills even more. There's never not been a hunger for Delmi Exo. There's never not been that dedication and drive. But one of the things I see, Torres, is when I look at the side of the Lost Boys, I see cohesion. I see three individuals who are after the same thing, and that's a win here tonight. When I look at the side of Grind OGs, I see three individual personalities.
Yeah.
And I wonder how they can coincide.
Yeah, to this day, I've been wondering about that since this match was announced on Pro Wrestling Grind social media. All things Grind Puro. But even when I saw the video of these three trying to get on the same page, didn't seem like it was quite there yet. We're gonna find out now if the dividends have been paid. Delmi Exo now out the back door. And Ryan Rizz.
Oh, wait a second. Forward into that. Oh, looked like he busted his nose right on the canvas.
Oh, wait a minute. Is Delmi Exo pondering the Cabell Naria, that Romero special, or may have other ideas in mind, but Delmi Exo looks to be hooking up that Romero special, aka the Mexican surfboard.
Exo certainly riling the crowd here in Florence. Extra pressure on the knees of Ryan Rizz, and now staring daggers, barreling in, dodges out of harm's way, does Rizz.
Delmi Exo doing her best homage to the American Dragon. But Ryan Rizz had it scouted, but you're gonna need more muster than that, pal.
Certainly right about that. Delmi Exo, from training at Kyushu Pro, from training at Marvelous over in Japan, made of tougher stuff.
My God, the amount of bread she's broken over in Japan with the Sendai girls, with Marvelous, with Kyushu Pro. The resume runs deep. The tag is made. Penn now.
Penn, so impressive in that preliminary series of Pro Wrestling Grind. Shows a lot of power, so much strength and agility. This is an absolute athlete, Penn.
Yeah, fascinating mix of the chemistry for these two, because the powerhouse is now a part of the Lost Boys again. But Delmi Exo up and over out the back with the neck snap into the cover.
Only good for one. Penn able to kick out, but Delmi now backed into her own corner, makes the tag to Ryan Mooney.
And Ryan Mooney, you saw that uneasy glance at Mick Skyros before bringing the hammer down.
Well, you think about it too, Mooney, the last time that they shared a ring, wasn't Skyros costing him an opportunity at the championship?
You better believe it.
So certainly a level of mistrust, and I mean, Mick Skyros have maintained online that he is very committed to Pro Wrestling Grind. He puts grind first in all things, but again, could be lip service. We do know how much he treasured and cared for that Grind Grand Championship. But Ryan Mooney now sinking his teeth in to the hand of Penn. He's gonna need a rabies shot.
He's gonna need one right now. He needs to be tested. Folks, stay away.
know what's up. Keep an eye out for no potential foaming at the mouth, I hope.
Rebiles Penn on the wrong end of the arm wringer, and now the God Queen.
And did you see, too, both Mick Skyros and Delmi Exo had their hands out for the potential tag. Mooney looked at both and chose to tag in Delmi Exo.
Delmi Exo, I have to believe, is the moderator, the diplomat of this trio, the butterfly suplex finding home. But Delmi Exo was the one to approach Mick Skyros and ensure that we are all on the same page for right here, right now. Brave New World, Florence, Massachusetts.
And now Ryan Mooney up on that top rope.
Rapidity! The double axe handle.
Straight to the spine of Miles Penn, and now grounding the offense. The ever agile Penn.
And he's not just a badger, folks. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trained practitioner and badger, but Mick Skyros now. Back into the contest.
Skyros, the former Grind Grand Champion, had seen enough, and rather than allowing the opportunity for Mooney to potentially tag Delmi Exo once more, said this isn't a tag team match, this is a trios match. And now, turnabout fair play. Both Skyros and Mooney tagging off of the backs of each other.
As we had said, Mick Skyros, once upon a member of the Moonlight Hornets alongside Travis Huckabee. He's going to have to play nice among three, never mind two. The tandem suplex. The God Badgers connecting.
Showing that fluidity, seamless into the cover. Only good for two for Delmi Exo.
Well, Delmi Exo, easily the senior combatant in this contest who has the playbook firmly written out.
Now sending Mooney, and Delmi Exo following through with a knee right to the jaw.
And now the Northern Light suplex finds home. Ryan Mooney, only two.
Delmi Exo making her way back to her corner. Seems like there's a lot of frustration on the part of Mick Skyros, who was at one point pacing like a wild animal now. Athan Promise tagged in, falls right into a deep arm drag, and another for Mooney.
Yeah, Ryan Mooney, no stranger to all three members of the Lost Boys. If there is a familiarity advantage to be had, the Lost Boys have it with Ryan Mooney, but Ryan Mooney, the same can be said.
Mooney very familiar with the Lost Boys. Over at the Worldwide Dojo just outside of Philadelphia.
Y'all like burgers? Stop on by. And the Lost Boys now, they're very frustrated. The burgers here at Florence, Mass, they're not coming out quite as desired, not as ordered.
Certainly not. I mean, I guess I wonder if the Lost Boys were coming in here thinking that they had that cohesion, they had that unified tag or trios mentality, but still couldn't stand the test against the experience edge that the Grind OGs have.
I agree. This is their first trios action here. They've done tag team, they've done singles. But this now, it's a different depth of water. Oh no! Like groceries! Like groceries!
Straight to the hindquarters of Athan Promise. Get him signed up for a rabies shot as well.
The haunches are hurting.
As now,
not again,
cradling his posterior is Athan Promise, trying to get Ryzen.
He's got to go to an urgent care,
He's
like
gonna have
right
to
now.
Get that checked out. But now, a huddle, a ringside huddle from the Lost Boys.
Ryan Mooney, Delmi Exo, Mick Skyros looking on.
Off of the ropes goes Mooney. Cut off in the pass, and then swinging for the fences was Athan Promise.
The whizzer into the clothesline, well done. In trios action, that's the kind of thing that can switch up the momentum at a moment's notice. And now.
Off the ropes once more, and I think they were trying to impart some offense where the Lost Boys, but Mooney got the better of them.
Great minds thinking alike, especially when the familiarity runs so deep.
Count along if you're watching at home.
Double digits.
Now, oh gosh, and now Miles Penn behind the back of our official Tyler Reed had his attention pulled by Ryan Rizz. first over that cable.
Finds home with the drop kick. This is the opening that the Lost Boys have been waiting for, have been working for.
After stymieing that early momentum of the Grind OGs, the Lost Boys, absolutely devastating damage they're doing to Ryan Mooney, plus a photo op.
Posing and punishing all the while.
And Athan Promise very brilliantly putting his body placement between Mooney and the other Grind OGs.
And I gotta believe the Lost Boys, they are very familiar with the Pro Wrestling Grind catalog, whether it be on independentwrestling.tv or the Pro Wrestling Grind YouTube channel. They know the amount of punishment that Ryan Mooney is able to withstand. Gary J left Ryan Mooney practically into shredded meat, and Ryan Mooney still living to tell the tale, but now on the receiving end of that single leg crab.
Trying to pop the patella of Ryan Mooney is Ryan Rizz right now.
One of the most difficult maneuvers to keep on in all of pro wrestling. To get the full experience, that deep squat, Ryan Mooney knows all too well. Trying to drill the ab kicks into the trapezius.
But now, once again, repositioning is Rizz, and what do the Lost Boys have in mind now? Oh, jeez, over the low bridge from Miles Penn, and now the Lost Boys are stomping Ryan Mooney into a pulp.
Well done. They stopped at the joke shop nearby, got themselves a slingshot.
And Delmi Exo has gone into a full chase against the other Lost Boys.
Well, Delmi Exo said time and time again, Ryan Mooney's her little boy. Delmi Exo ain't gonna stand for that. And Mick Skyros, well, he's very comfortable just watching, waiting, commiserating.
And the cover now! Only a 2 count. Yeah, Skyros is just kind of watching everything unfold. Delmi really trying to go to bat to the aid of Ryan Mooney. But the Lost Boys really letting all of this frustration fuel them.
Now, does Mick Skyros have the closer mentality? For baseball practitioners out there, is he thinking, I gotta come when my name is called? That's not how this works in trios action. But Ryan Mooney, clear across the ring from Exo, and Skyros gets the foot up.
Clocks 2 of the 3 Lost Boys. Promise and Rizz now fingertips away from making the tag to Delmi Exo.
The Manhattan drop finds home, and now stepping on over once again the single leg crab.
Sinking down deep is Rizz. All that pressure on not only the spine, but that torque on the knee of Mooney. He is in a dangerous way.
Ryan Mooney, he's capitalizing on the way Rizz is leaning forward, but Rizz may have baited him into it. The slingshot!
Oh, went back to the well, and Mooney had it scouted. Tried again for that low bridge, but crawling through, tripped up slightly, and now
runway's open, fingertips away.
Skyros and Delmi Exo reaching out. Delmi Exo clocked by Rizz and taken off the apron, and now big body drop opens up that pathway, clear as day, and Mooney looking to Skyros, questioning himself. There's no other option.
Moonlight Badgers unite! Mick Skyros now!
Coming in with a full head of steam.
Fresh as a moonlit daisy. Wait a minute, out the back door, pop of the hips into the German suplex. Now Miles Penn. Oh, Farouk Flavor, that spine buster.
Firing on all cylinders, the former Grind Grand Champion now.
Uncle Ron is smiling. And now, all 3 members, Mooney, Delmi, Skyros!
Going for broke over the top rope. Opening up that runway for a very clear landing. Where Mooney and Delmi Exo.
Yeah, Mick Skyros, he was waiting for the closer's call. Because now he is fully locked in on this. Gory bomb hooked up.
And served to the queen into that neck breaker.
Gory cutter, if you will, if you're nasty. And now, Moonlight Badgers!
Building that trust between this trio.
Shadows over Honey Badgerville!
Scurries to the cover, into position, blocking the path of the Lost Boys. No! Capsized and
can be to play that perimeter defense in trios action, especially at our Florence debut here at Brave New World. All 6 combatants, no worse for wear. The VFW wouldn't have it any other way.
No doubt about that, Torres. It is Mooney and Rizz first to their feet for their respective teams. Mooney off of the ropes, gets that extra speed, but scooped up and planted, sits out with it, does Rizz.
The homage to Taka Michinoku with that very driver in his name. Stepping into the super kick with the follow-up.
Deadlifted into that Taito suplex. Drive that knee home straight to the jaw.
The bicycle Basaiku knee, and now Delmi Exo.
The weight of Miles Penn, the impact of this matchup, but Delmi still on her feet.
And now Delmi switching up the grips. Falcon Arrow finds home. Homage to the great hardcore Holly.
Exo now staggers to her feet, finds herself in the corner. Straight across from Promise.
Lot of runway. Oh! Steps up into the enziguri.
Athan Promise saying this is done. Ready to put away Delmi Exo.
She's in the drop zone. Athan Promise now. Very gifted from such great heights.
But
well done.
Protecting his tag team partner, Mick Skyros. Oh, it takes the full brunt of that double stomp, does the Moonlight Sun.
The Immortal Championship Wrestling alumni looking out for one another.
Oh, God, and now all the Lost Boys teaming up. Oh, God. Devastating way.
All that wanders is not lost, but I gotta believe all 6 are finding one another in this very corner.
But now Athan Promise at the top of the heap.
No!
And Mooney, bring him down!
I don't know who got the best of that. I don't know if you'd call that a Lost Boy Plex, a Grind OG Plex, or merely a Florence Plex here at Brave New World.
Well, it is a mass of strewn bodies in the ring. Ryan Rizz makes his way to the apron with his hand outstretched to his tag team partner.
Same cannot be said for the Pro Wrestling Grind, the OGs.
Just clobbering blows now exchanged. Mooney and Rizz in the center of the ring here in Florence.
And I gotta believe the OG naming scheme, it came off a chip of the shoulder off these 3. They all feel like they should have been on the very first event, Who Made Who. Hold on.
It's on his feet, does Mooney, and
small package.
2 count only. Driving in that back elbow, and again, now closing the distance. Ryan Mooney.
And how much does this hang in the balance for Ryan Mooney? 2026. Wants this to be the year of the Honey Badger in Pro Wrestling Grind. And he may be too focused on that because he might now be center of the crosshairs for the Lost Boys.
Could be looking for that burger hammer.
Finds home. Perfectly cooked burger, medium rare. But my take on it anyways. But now he's still in the drop zone.
And Miles Penn springs with that moonsault. But here comes Skyros of all of the Grind OGs. Mick Skyros not only spared Delmi Exo from the full brunt of the double stomp, but now breaking up that pinfall on Ryan Mooney.
The front 6 innings, they may have just been a comfort zone for Mick Skyros, but he does not want to leave with a loss on his record here at Pro Wrestling Grind. He is all too familiar.
Oh, dumped back now by the Lost Boys, the Moonlight Sun. falling into a heap at ringside.
Lest we forget the losing streak that Mick Skyros was on once upon a time prior to capturing the Grand Championship. Lightning might be striking twice from Mick Skyros. Ryan Mooney now, face first into the canvas. Lost Boys look to be riding very comfortably here in trios action.
In what could be now looking like a 3-on-1 affair, Delmi Exo rolling back into the ring. The Lost Boys have Mooney in their sights, but Delmi Exo catches Athan Promise.
Explodes into the suplex.
Cracks Miles Penn with a kick and another for Ryan Rizz.
Delmi Exo, no stranger to things getting chaotic, things getting crazy. Capitalizing on such experience. Mick Skyros now back into the contest with Ryan Mooney, gonna start off the stanza.
Thrown into that drop kick with that extra effort, and now that Delmi driver.